We're going through fake spring. Fake spring is that period of time where it gets around 60 or 70 degrees every day. It's right at freezing or high 30s in the mornings. And the frogs begin procreating, and the daffodils make an appearance, thinking, oh, it's spring, and so the frogs survive because they're cold-blooded creatures, but the daffodils don't survive when the frost happens here in about a week or two. They do come back later, but I swear they don't last all summer. They don't last all spring. I mean, they seem to fade away quick. So I'm a little sad by that, because my grandma used to have 2 rows of daffodils right in front of her house. I loved that. It's really cool. They bloom all yellow flowers. I know there's other colors of daffodils. I've seen them. I don't know if they occur naturally. Maybe they do, but I've only seen yellow mostly in nature. And it's very cool. The other thing, though, is there used to be a period of time where people swept their yards. So people didn't grow grass. I don't know how prevalent this is, but I knew that my grandmother told me that her yard used to be sand, and that they would just keep it swept to keep it from growing. Just put sand down. So I guess the downside of that is that feral cats would come by and use the sand for a litter box. But anyway, eventually she did grow grass. I don't know. I don't remember the sweeping, so it must have happened before I came into being, or cognizant memory-wise. But she told me to use to sweep her yard. But anyway, she had these 2 rows of daffodils that she obviously planted. So they were very pretty. And I was just thinking about that this morning. I watched this video this morning that talked about when we anamorphosize objects and how we attach meaning to objects. In this case, the video was talking about this glass that had a picture of this physicist, because he was big into physics, and a friend had given this glass to him for his birthday, and that he had this glass for years. It had survived many moves. I think it's required by law, if you live in apartments in New York, you move often. I don't know. Maybe. It just seems that way. But then the glass got chipped to the point where it was dangerous to drink out of. But he kept the glass. Somebody said, hey, well, you need to throw it away, and he said, yeah, you're right, it's dangerous. But he kept it for a bit after the crack. And he didn't even remember which birthday he'd gotten this for. But then he finally threw the glass away. But he was sad about that. And he got thinking about it. It was about the kind of the emotion around the fact that somebody had given him that glass thinking of him. And so it wasn't so much that it was the object, it was the gesture itself. And then, funny enough, he found the box that the gift came in, because he'd kept the box. They said, I'm keeping this. And I was just trying to think this morning what are things that we do that with. Because I like to keep the boxes for electronics I buy. I don't know why. I do. I keep them for a while. I've gotten better about it. I had to do a big purge. Once you get to the point where you have a box full of empty boxes, it's time to purge. You know, on the flip side, I recently sold a piece of electronics, and I was sad they didn't have the box it came in, because, oh, hey, I just sell him this, and I'll give him the box it was in and everything. I had gotten rid of it. So, anyway, I was a little sad to sell the device, even though the device had given me grief. There was a story there. We had gone through a lot of effort to try to get this device to work, and it didn't work for me. And I had gotten to the point where I could make it work, but it got too frustrating. I need life simple now. So I replaced the device, I bought something else, but I kept the first one, saying, oh, well, I'll use it for this, knowing full well I'm gonna get all that frustration with that device. So, yeah, sometimes when we've gone on a journey, when something has a story for us, then it means something, even if the object itself means nothing or has no value. You know? On the flip side, you can probably sell anything on eBay. So, does everything have value? Anyway, it's gonna be a good day. I had to do a presentation this morning, but then that got canceled. I'm not sad, but I went ahead and finished the presentation to make sure I was ready. Yeah. So, all right. You have a great day. Let's do this. Okay.